Hello, Randy Rain here, and this time I have the Flippity Flyer. Now, I remember this from when I was a kid. I don't know where I remember it, if it was a television commercial or I saw it demonstrated in a toy shop or something, but I remember this thing from somewhere. And if we look on the packaging here, it says manufactured by ToyTown Corporation for Asahi or Asahi, but we'll get back to that. It also says up here on the front, says there's a sticker that says distributed by the F.W. Woolworth Company in New York. I used to like to go to Woolworth because, you know, they had cool toys like this. I think this is like 1970s, mid-70s, somewhere around there. So let's have a closer look and I'll show you something. So here's what we have. Here's the little sign for the top of it. It's all metal. These are the tracks that the airplane goes up and does the little Flippity Flyer thing. So look down here. You see it says ToyTown, and right underneath it, it says TOMY, made in Japan. If you look at the little airplane down here, so this airplane has gears here on the side that spin, and you can see there's different sizes on here. And on these things, they start riding here, and this is what causes it to go up, and then up at the top here is where it starts doing its flippity-flop motion. Also has wheels that are connected down here as well. Battery compartment looks pretty bad. Haven't even tried it yet. And not going to until I fix it. There's the on-off switch here. Feels very corroded. You have these decals here that went on the side of these things, and these are like the Dead Sea Scrolls here, and about to crumble to pieces. There's already a piece over here. So on either side of these, there's this thing which has the airplane land, circle around, and then go back up. But in between there it has these. And this is a little thing here. And that's going to make this stop. It's just going to turn that switch off right there. This one is rotted and it snaps. So here's the little tension piece that's supposed to be on there. But it's broken. It's all brittle and nasty looking. But of course the first thing to do is to start on the little airplane. Take off the battery door. 3 screws. There's a ring up here. Let's see. I'd say that's a little rusty. A little bit rusty. I mean, that might set a record for something. I mean, it's pretty bad. Alright, so right here is a noisemaker. So this little thing here was rubbing up against this gear, making a little engine noise. Looks like we have some severely rusted tabs down here that have to come up. guess it's just riveted in there. I gotta redo those rivets. Well, that sucks. Yeah, those rivets have to come out of there to get all this out. Now check this out. You actually turn the motor to touch these two tabs. That's what turned it on. Go ahead and take this off. It's probably just some sort of weight. Alright, this is getting the treatment here. So meanwhile, I'm going to work on this motor. It has a 12-tooth gear here, and it looks to be pretty good shape actually, but I have some of those. So it's going to be replaced. But it doesn't look to be cracked. Alright, this has to go into the CLR as well. That's just too bad. That's some of the worst I've seen. I think I'm going to take this whole thing apart. That one had a little bushing on it. So here we have a 10-tooth gear. I can replace that as well, so it needs to come off. But it's not split. This one has a little washer or something there. Trying to get this gear off, it was corroded so bad that the metal shaft just broke. Okay, I'm going to put the motor back together. Now for some WD-40 to clean all that CLR off of it. Put a little power to it. I used the hairdryer method to get these decals off, and I saved enough of them so I can recreate them. But this has rust. It's time to switch these two out. Okay, right here, this thing did have a shaft coming out of it. And that shaft held that gear. As you can see, it doesn't really hold it much anymore. It's like a different kind of metal that was riveted in, and it had a really bad reaction with all that rust, and it was just gone. So I'm going to have to remake this piece. So I first need to get it out. I've now 3D printed this. This is going to poke through. And then there's a cap for this side. I'm going to glue that. And it has a hole for this metal rod to go in. And that will hold that gear. I still need to cut it off, but this rod's going to go up through there, and that gear will sit on that. Now I'm going to retrobrite this little plane top. Got my cream developer, just a little bit left. So on the motor, this little piece goes, and then this 12-tooth gear. Just testing it out here, getting it to fit. Looks good, but there needs to be a 10-tooth gear right here, so it gets a brand new one. Alright, so time to put it all together. The motor goes like that. Have a pop rivet. Then to twist these tabs. Got the noise maker here. I'm just gonna give it a little more strength. I got all that rust off of there, but I'm going to go ahead and put some 3-in-1 oil on this and keep it from rusting away. Now here's the sweet white top. Came out great. I think that's it. So it goes like that. That doesn't seem right. Maybe that. So here's my recreation. I'm just going to use packing tape for here. For this piece, I'm using this peel and stick laminate. So I better start on the mold for making these things. This one started to crack and crumble as I took it out, so I'm going to be making two and just replacing both of them. Alright, to the vacuum chamber. Back to the vacuum chamber and then just to let it cure. Like the craft man says, you can just use a little bit of this petroleum jelly and just put it on in there. Rub it on in there real good. Yeah, because everybody loves the craft man. Alright, time to recreate these pieces. I'm using the Smooth Cast 325. I am going to take some of this white pigment and dissolve it in the part B. Now I've discovered that this white pigment does not go clear. It will always stay milky like this. Now as far as the yellow all I have is this like neon yellow. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of red to it. There we go, that's a much better color. I mean, it's not the color, but it looks like a color it should be. It's not the right color, but it also doesn't look wrong. So here you go, a working Flippity Flyer now. As bad as that looked, I am just amazed at how well this came out. This looks almost brand new. Yeah, even down to this Norman Rockwell looking painting on here. This is the strangest thing to me. That is so 1970s. Any later it'd be like a little cartoon airplane or something. But no, you got this thing that looks like a painting you should see in your doctor's office. But you want to see how it works. Well, I want you to try to test yourself and see what you think it's going to do. And the plane is obviously going to connect to these gears going up into the air. But at the top, you see there's some extra gears here, which I'll go ahead and tell you is what's going to make it flip. But the question is, which direction is it going to flip? Can you figure it out? Another question is, what are these little blue tabs? There's one on this side and there's one on this side. What do those do? And then as it comes down and lands, it's going to go into this little roundabout. As you can see, the tracks stop. So what causes it to make it go around like that? You may be surprised. So here it goes, turning it on. Now the airplane comes and engages into these gears here, and it starts going up. Now the weight on the airplane in the back is what keeps the airplane pointing upwards. So it looks like it's taking off. Then when it gets to the top, this other gear engages, which is fixed to the airplane once you put it together. And it now causes the airplane to do flips backwards. And then when it comes out the other side, with the weight in the back, it's still wanting to point up. So what that flap does is it makes it point down as it goes down the hill. And then as it comes down and it engages into the track, and it starts heading towards the roundabout. Did you guess that the inside of the wheel brace grabs a hold of this little thing and makes it spin around? Because I sure didn't. That one was a surprise to me. Well, that's it. The ToyTown TOMY Flippity Flyer from Woolworths, somewhere in the 1970s. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you give me a like. If you want to see more like this, then you should subscribe. I want to thank these people right here. They are growing like crazy, and I am so shocked and amazed, and I thank them so very, very much. I appreciate it so much. These are patrons. If you want to become a patron, there's a Patreon link down below. Thanks again for watching, and see you next video.